Welcome to Stevie's Kitchen. Today I'm gonna show you how to make a roasted sweet potato salad. This salad for me is one of my favorite salads. Back when I used to run my food truck, Fresh Plate, this was probably the #1 side that got sold on this all the time. It's good, it's hearty, it's healthy, and you're gonna love it. Okay, so first with this roasted sweet potato salad, we clearly gotta get these sweet potatoes roasted and peeled. So like I always say, keep your produce bag right next to your stand. And we're just gonna get all these peeled. So when it comes to the cubing of these sweet potatoes, you can do it however you want to. I prefer a little bit smaller cube. It gets a quicker cook in the oven and it's better bite. And the beauty with this sweet potato salad is you can pretty much pair it with anything. I am personally pairing it today with some shredded beef. Last week, whenever I had made my meal prep, I had some that I knew I was gonna have left over. So I just wrapped it up, put it in the freezer. So now I can do a roasted sweet potato salad, already some shredded beef, and then I'll just toss that in at the end. So this meal prep will honestly only take as long as it takes to chop the sweet potatoes and roast them in the oven. Now that we have our sweet potatoes peeled, we're gonna get into the dicing. I like to chop off the ends. You'll catch me do that on a lot of my videos with a lot of my vegetables and things. I don't know. That's a personal weird phobia I guess I have. So whenever I say I kind of like them a little bit thinner, I usually try to go about 1/4 of an inch thick on my slices. And then once we get these done, let's grab a bowl. So then it's just chop. I like to have kind of nice little cubes set up. About that size is how I kind of like it. So this is one of these recipes that I played with for a little bit whenever I was starting out my food truck. Fresh Plate here in Houston is what it was called. I used to call it healthy food with flavor. Ran for about 2 years, COVID hit, kind of had to shut some things down. And so that's the only reason why I'm still not running it anymore. This is one of these recipes that you can eat hot or cold. It tastes great either way. Was another plus. So once we get all those sweet potatoes chopped up, right on the edge of my bowl right here. So if you want a bigger bowl, go for it. So we're just gonna take some oil of choice. I just have some extra virgin olive oil. I'm just gonna drizzle over about a tablespoon. Just wanna have enough to where I can get all these sweet potatoes incorporated and covered. Just gonna come in here and start stirring. The only reason this oil is on here was just to help your seasonings stick to them. So I have a little bit of smoked paprika. It's gonna be about a tablespoon of that. Get that over top. And then I'm gonna do a tablespoon of chili powder. Tablespoon of ground cumin. Tablespoon of garlic powder. Tablespoon of onion powder. Depending on where you want your spice level at, I'll still do about a tablespoon of red chili flakes. But do that at your own discretion, how much heat you would like. And then again, we're just gonna go through, stir these up. Just wanna make sure all these sweet potatoes get coated with all that seasoning. If you noticed, I didn't put any salt on these. And I don't like to put salt on these before they go into the oven because salt's gonna help pull moisture out of them. And then you're gonna end up steaming them as opposed to roasting them in the oven. So I season at the end. So once we get everything fully incorporated, you're gonna line your baking tray with some parchment paper, spread out there. It's gonna go into the oven, 350 degrees for 30 minutes. We're just gonna pour these out onto our parchment paper. Make sure not to overcrowd too much. And by overcrowd, I mean I just don't want them on top of each other. So now that we have everything chopped, seasoned, and laid onto the parchment paper, onto the pan, we're about to go into the oven for 30 minutes. And during that 30 minutes, we're gonna get our jalapeno vinaigrette done and get our bell peppers chopped, basil chopped, ready to incorporate all this when it comes out the oven, and your sweet potato salad will be complete. Now let's get on to cutting our bell peppers. This is a nice little trick that I learned. If you just cut down these sides right here, 1, 2, 3, 4. This opens like a little flower. Your cord's already taken out. And then I just like to go back and trim up a little bit of this membrane. Red bell peppers aren't spicy by any means, so if you want to leave that membrane, and you can. I just personally don't like the look of it. That's the only reason I cut it out. So now that we got these done, I'm just gonna cut them into strips. Then after strips, dice them. And just like that. This is the size that you kind of want them to be at. Now into our bowl. And then we're just gonna keep repeating until we finish all these. I always like to say, made for TV bites. What size do you want these to be if you're to be on TV eating? I get some canned beans. I just get 1 can, 29 ounces. I got my strainer here. I'm just gonna crack these, pour them in here, rinse them off, and then add it to the bowl. Pre-cooked's fine. If you wanna get your own and make them yourself, you can do that as well. But with me, pop the top and go. We're talking quick, healthy meal prep, so this is a lot quicker than making my own beans. Now that I got the beans rinsed, I'm gonna add these to our bowl as well. And now it's time to chop up our basil to add in here. So with the basil, I like to do probably about half a cup at the end of the day once it gets all chopped up and sliced into ribbons. Basil is just one of my favorite herbs that I actually I love working with, especially fresh. Like there's the smell of basil, the flavor of basil. You don't have to add basil into this recipe, but for me, it's the secret ingredient. And then once you pull up all your leaves that you're gonna use, the simple way to chop all this uniformly is just take all your leaves, stack them all nice and tight. Take them here and just roll them. I know what y'all thinking too. Not that type of roll. And then one down the middle. Toss this all together. It's gonna be a very colorful salad at that too. So now for this jalapeno vinaigrette dressing, it sounds like it's gonna be spicy. It's really not gonna be spicy. It's called a jalapeno vinaigrette dressing just because I use jalapeno balsamic vinegar. You just get the flavor of the jalapeno, not the heat of the jalapeno. But this is quick, simple to make. Get you some oil. I have olive oil again. This one's probably about 1/3 cup. Like, I don't personally like to overdress my salad dressings or my salads. I just kind of like a little bit of that flavor. So we got 1/3 cup of that. About equal parts of balsamic, the jalapeno balsamic. Doing a tablespoon of yellow mustard. Another tablespoon of honey. You can use regular honey since it's already kind of the jalapeno, is why I have a little bit of why I'm using Mike's hot honey. Juice of half a lemon. Ooh, we got a squirter. Just a little bit of sprinkle of salt. You can always salt a little more at the end after you taste it. Fresh cracked black pepper. And just a little bit of cayenne, about a teaspoon. You don't want a lot. Whisk this together. Your vinaigrette is complete. Yeah, I actually like that. Ooh, get that slight little kick at the end. Yeah, perfect. 30 minutes have gone by. Our sweet potatoes are done out the oven. So we're just gonna take these. The pan's still a little hot, so I'm just gonna grab the parchment paper, make a little funnel. Straight into the bowl. Take our black beans, bell peppers, basil, straight into our bowl. Keep all the goodness together. We get a slight toss just real quick. That's what it's gonna look like. After we just got a light toss on it, got it all incorporated. Now we're gonna come in here with that jalapeno vinaigrette dressing. Just pour it over top. And then we're just gonna repeat that same method of tossing. Get a little spin. And I prefer to toss like this than opposed to using my spoon or a utensil, only because sometimes those sweet potatoes, you don't want to mash them up in there. So this is how you keep their texture, integrity, I should say. Because this is gonna be a thick salad, so if you're really scooping in there and trying to get it up, you might smash some of the sweet potatoes, and I want to keep my sweet potatoes whole. So just want to make sure you get a big enough bowl just so you can toss. There you go. Roasted sweet potato salad to now perfectly divvy up for your meal prep. So like I said before, I made a big chuck roast last week for my meal prep. I actually used half of it, believe it or not, so I knew I was still gonna have plenty left over this week. So I wanted to make this roasted sweet potato salad. Got my containers out, so we're just gonna divvy this up. Take out my shredded beef. Just like always, gotta give you a nice little taste test. We're gonna go in here, try the sweet potato salad. Grab a little piece of beef. I'm gonna love eating this all week.